with the Hidden Gibbon, and as promised, I am back this time to have the sequel to my Don't Be This Player. As I said, I wanted to do something a little bit more positive after that, and so I am making this. This is Be This Player in Magic the Gathering, or Be This Magic Player. These are 10 archetypes of people that inspire and build. They are people who make the game better. We can all hopefully hope to be more like these folks. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. In at number 1, we have the Mentor. Now, the Mentor is somebody who helps players learn the game. They are patient with new players when they make mistakes, and they celebrate their wins. A mentor is somebody who sees those new folks and doesn't wait for the new folks to ask for help. They approach in a friendly and disarming manner and welcome them into the game. We can all strive to be more like the mentor, right? And when I started in Magic, there were some of those friends that had played for a lot longer than me. My friend Jason had, and made it very friendly and lifelong friend. Those folks. And nowadays, when I play with somebody who's newer, like when I was teaching Danae Magic on Arena, when she'd make mistakes and stuff, very patient, trying to help. And then when you see that new player, when you help celebrate that, it's a great feeling when you can be that person that helps new players into the game. At number 2, we have the Respectful Peer. Now, the Respectful Peer is somebody who understands that their experience isn't everyone's experience and avoids gatekeeping, right? So what the Respectful Peer does is understand, this is kind of like the opposite of the bourgeoisie from the previous, right? They understand that not everybody has the same economic resources, not everybody has the same lived experience. So what they try to do is be disarming, be friendly, supportive, understanding that maybe the $40 budget commander deck is all the person can build. And in that role, they help build that person up and make them feel proud of the deck that person built to represent themselves, building that sense of trust and care and community. In at number 3, we have the Inclusive Ally. Be aware that some players are neurodivergent or anxious, and make space for them, or people from the LGBTQ plus community, or people from different disenfranchised groups. So with this, personal story time. I may not seem like it because I'm behind a camera. I'm not in front of strangers directly, but I have a great degree of social anxiety. And so if I were to go to even my local game store, which I've been in, a whole bunch of times, and if I were to sit down on Commander Day and I wouldn't have any other friends there that I know really well, I would shut down. I'd probably just sit by myself until somebody went out of their way to invite me into their pod. And that is just because I don't do well in environments where I don't know folks, and and I'm not familiar with the people. So understand that person who might be different than you, act different than you, be shy, the quiet person, they might not be trying to act rude, but they might just need the right person to be able to help lead them in, right? And my friend Mitch, I actually can credit a whole lot for this, and I'm really appreciative of, because Mitch gets me to go to the local game store because then I have somebody to go with. And you know what? Until he watches this, he doesn't even know that I wouldn't go to a local game store if I didn't have a friend there, because it makes me feel more comfortable, kind of puts my social anxiety at ease. So, just be conscientious of everybody. Bring those people in, right? Bring everybody in. Magic is a big tent where we should welcome people from all walks of life. In at number 4 is the Mood Matcher. This is one that I actually really, really try to do. And I know, like, my friend Mitch, again, does this really well, is, celebrate people's wins, adopt to the table's vibe, right? And adopting to the vibe can be, if we're sitting down for a hyper casual game, be more chill, more relaxed, a little bit more silly, a little bit more bubbly. If the conversations around, hey, we're gonna be practicing for like CDH, etc. Be able to lock back in, be kind of like a social chameleon, right? Adapt to your surroundings. And by doing so, it makes folks be a lot more comfortable, and it might open you up to new friendships and things like that, right? If you're able to match other people's vibes and kind of build that up, it makes a more pleasant experience overall for everyone. Going in with the mood matcher, though, we have the encourager, and this is where somebody compliments like creative plays, spicy brews, unique decks. You celebrate things. You're able to really pump people up when they do those amazing plays, right? Especially with newer players, or with just anybody really. Like my friend group, like when we do something absurd, like if I random oops pop off and make like a million random tokens, or do some really cool play, we all build each other up and like laugh about it. And some of those moments in games, some of the silly moments that have happened in our Commander games, like one of our friends a long time ago, having had too much to drink one night, took all the lands out of his deck, right? And shuffled then all the non-land stuff together because he used the same sleeves for all his Commander decks. And then, we were playing and we found that good laughs. We still remember those things to this day. Those great moments, being able to build each other up, celebrate those wins. If you have somebody who's coming in who's shy and who's new to the game especially, build them up. When they get that aha moment, when they make that big play, make sure that you celebrate it as much as you celebrate your own wins and big plays. Next, we have the Timekeeper. This one's pretty simple. This is the person who keeps turns moving and is respectful of time. Now, I'm going to say this, right? Like, so I do play some stacks decks. In some of my older games, videos, you'll have seen me play Queen. So even when I'm playing stacks, even though overall the game isn't moving very fast, I try to take my turns in a fast manner. Honestly, that's why I kind of avoid combo. I do some combos but I have like a hard rule of like, try to do no more than 3 minutes for a turn. But overall, just understanding that, not everybody has 8 hours to sit down to play some games of Magic, so we'd like to get more than like 2 or 3 games in, right? Being conscientious of everybody's time and, just keep things moving. Like I said, these ones are pretty simple because they're a lot more positive, right? They're less ranty, but a lot more positive qualities that build those wholesome vibes. Next, we have the Sharer. This one's a little bit more controversial and a lot more easy to do with your immediate friend group. The Sharer will, you sit down at your pod, everybody sets stuff out, and somebody's like, oh my goodness, I forgot a game mat or a play mat. And you're like, hey, I got a spare one. Here you go. Use it for the game. Or, oh man, I forgot my dice. It's okay, you can use mine during the game. Or tokens and things like that, right? Like the infinite tokens and stuff like that. Now, I understand not wanting to necessarily loan cards. That makes sense. But is much more frequent in friend groups. Like, I know my immediate friend group, when we would go to legacy tournaments all the time, I wouldn't always have all the cards. My friend Dewey wouldn't always have all the cards. Mitch might not always have all the cards. But our friend Jason has a massive collection. And he'd be like, all right, tell me what you need. And he would get us those cards. We'd put them into our decks, play them for that, get them back to him, right? The Sharer is somebody who believes that their resources aren't necessarily always exclusive to them, even if it's just borrowing for a little bit. Now, to go along with the Sharer, there is the respectful recipient, right? If somebody's going to let you use their tokens or let you use their deck or playmat, be respectful of that share, right? Don't have a whole bunch of greasy food around it and things like that. Just be respectful, kind, and courteous, and grateful of the fact that somebody shared those things with you. Next, we have the Builder, and this is somebody I aspire to be, but I got to get over social anxiety first. The Builder helps the game community get better overall, right? They're somebody who's known for being welcoming. They have positive energy. They organize things that help the community. So on a macro level, right? Think of the prof. Think of all of those large creators who do charity events for good causes, who help boost small spaces inside of Magic. But even on the micro level, each one of us, every time you step foot into your LGS, every time you have that interaction with strangers, if you can build that caring and kind, just even micro interaction, you're building community, right? If you sit down and you make the 3 random people that you play with at your LGS feel really welcome and cared for, and just build that very good rapport, the odds of them coming back is much higher. The odds of them wanting to come back, and even you making some friends out of this, is much better. We have to work overall at, we want more people to play Magic the Gathering. We want to invite people in. We want people to be able to just be able to come in and have a great time. And so that's the builder. Next, we have the friend. Somebody who remembers that the game, especially, again, casual Commander and casual games, that the game is about fun, not crushing people, not driving them down, not making them, feel bad, right? Like, you can win the game without making somebody feel like they don't belong. And being the friend is going to make you friends, right? Being that friendly, warm, and inviting person, that person that tries to make the experience fun, they are going to be the person that makes new friends in Magic, the person whose interactions that others remember. And I will say this, will help become a builder maybe. But yeah, being that kind friend, sometimes that's all somebody needs. And then last, and one of the most important things in Magic the Gathering, one of the most important people you can be, is the Respector. They treat people how they want to be treated. We have all heard the old adage, treat somebody how you would want to be treated. But I'm going to go one step further. Treat people how they want to be treated, right? So some examples for this is if somebody goes by a nickname, go by the nickname. If somebody tells you their name, use their name. If somebody has pronouns that they use those pronouns. I know that in 2025, some people could think that's controversial, but remember, words like me and I are pronouns. They as a pronoun, just be respectful. It costs nothing. It costs no effort at all to say she, her, him, his, they, them, etc., right? Showing that little bit of respect, and just also boundaries, right? We talked about the Gunnar in the last one, right? Respecting people's emotional boundaries as well. Being respectful of women in Magic, of anybody in Magic, really, right? Like, you want to be that person that's not known for being a creep, etc. You want to be that person that's known for, hey, this person, I came to this store. I didn't know if I would be welcome in this space, but this person made sure that I was welcome. They respected me. They saw me. That is the type of a person. The Respector is kind of like a foundation to a lot of these traits, of these archetypes. Now that we've come to the end, I know this one was a lot faster than the cheesy rant about don't be this player, but honestly, this one is far more important in a way than don't be this player. And the difference between the don't be this player, where each one of those archetypes are kind of individual, every one of these traits for being this player kind of interlock and build on each other, right? All of these things, from the builder to the friend to the Respector to the respectful peer, the mentor, the inclusive ally, all of those things build together to make Magic not only what it is today, but what it could be in the future, right? I want Magic to be an amazing space where everybody is welcome. On like a personal note for like my channel, that is something that, you know, I always have in the back of my head, is I want this to be a space where everybody feels cared for, included, welcome, and loved. Because, personal note, like I've said in some past videos, but I'll reiterate, like, I did not have a lot of friends before I played Magic. School was miserable for me. I grew up in a very small rural town in Iowa with no spark of athletic talent. Doesn't always win you popularity contests. I was a nerd, right? But Magic got me a lot of friends that I still have to this day. It got me through some pretty dark times, right? And the reason that I made those friends, and the reason I still love Magic to this day, is because I encountered every one of these be this player archetypes. Whether it's my friend Mitch, Jason, Dewey, whether it was somebody I had a really positive experience with at a local game store, or somebody that I just chatted with between rounds at a Star City 5K during my old Legacy days, or a store owner, the old store owner at Critical Hit Games, who was always so nice and started free Legacy tournaments. Like, just chatting with people and like seeing those encouragements, those mentors, those respectful peers, everybody in there kind of got me to love the game. And so I can only hope, and I can only imagine, if we all strive to do more, myself included. I am no perfect peach, right? Everybody understands that, you know, progress is a journey. We all have room for growth. We are not the same people we were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right? But if we work together and we all make conscientious efforts, we can make Magic something that, you know, we already all love it, right? We wouldn't be in this game, wouldn't be making videos, wouldn't be watching videos if we did not love Magic the Gathering. Let's make it something that we can love even more, and make it something where those people who have never had the pod, who have never had the friends, who have always been like, I don't know, maybe Magic's not the place for me, bring them in here. Give them a seat at our table. Show them that, like, the great care and compassion that this community has, and just always be mindful of, you know, how others perceive how we treat them. I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and as always, I will see you all in the next one.